Yeah, we are back. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond Click and Clip. This is a podcast where we talk about anything and everything, and I share my experiences with you, or life experiences and stories. Something for you to listen to while you work, play, doing whatever you're doing. Have me on in the background. Maybe I can make you smile, laugh, giggle, or something hackle me over in future time. I don't know. But I do appreciate each and every one of you who listen to my podcast and like it. Well, guys, this has been a week. Last week was pretty stressful. A lot of y'all know that my wife had to go in and have surgery. That she had a total hysterectomy. She had some kind of tumors growing on her, and it was bigger than the uterus it was. By the time it was taken out, it was, I guess, pretty big, almost as big as a watermelon, is what they kind of said. Um, so it started Tuesday. Was her surgery? Well, we walked in the hospital just fine, and sitting there, got checked in, and they took her back to her room, and yeah, we took her back to her room, got her checked in, and all that stuff. Sitting there with her, everything was going smooth and correct, right? And finally, they came in, took her vitals and stuff, and explained to her what was happening and all that. And finally, the time it came to go have surgery. So I went out in the waiting room. And the doctor said, "Oh, it'll only take me 90 minutes, so hour and a half." Okay. So I went out in the waiting room, and my uncle was there with me and our preacher, and we sat there. I don't know. Our surgery's supposed to start at 8. They called me about 7:30. Said they took her on back there and you're ready to get started. I said, "All right, it's starting early, so maybe we get done early." Well, all right. Um, um, Waited about 9 o'clock. I went and started. They should be getting done. They should only be an hour and a half. And then 9 came to 10. I'm like, okay, we're going over. Fine. Finally, this went on till noon, and so they called me, told me that she made it through just fine. That there was a bunch of she had a little complication that they had. I guess she had a bunch of scar tissue from her previous C-section that we had when we had Haley 23 years ago. So he said that he had to clean that up to even get the tumor and the uterus out there to do the hysterectomy. Okay, so he goes, she's gonna be in recovery for an hour. I go, all right, I'll just go. Um, all right, well, she made it through surgery. She's in recovery. Time for me to go eat some lunch, so I thought. I was just starting to walk down to the cafeteria, and then my phone rang again and said, "Well, we're headed up to a room." Like, he just called me. He said, "It's going to be an hour." Oh, no, she's been in recovery she's headed up to her room. All right, so they gave me the room number. I walked my fat butt up there, and I'll tell you what, I'm a big guy, have medical issues myself. I'm disabled, and I didn't think about all this, and I was trying to walk, and boy, I almost didn't make it. I had to take a break. Luckily, there was a wheelchair sitting there where I was able to sit down for a couple minutes before I finished the trek. Finally got to her room. She wasn't even up there yet. So I sat down in a chair waiting on her, sweating from that long freaking walk. It's a pretty big hospital. Finally, she gets rolled in and she get her all set up and comfortable. And so I sat there and I knew that I wasn't going to make it back to the cafeteria. And I was here deciding which one is worth me getting wore out and tired and falling over myself or eat. I just stayed in the room. Luckily, the hospital does this thing called guest trays, so I just all right, that's fine. I'm perfectly happy with that. They when I brought her food, they brought me a tray, so I didn't have to go down to the cafeteria. So I was like, yes. But that day I didn't eat nothing until dinner time, and I was starving. I'm a fat guy, I need food. But we went fine this, and doctor comes in. We're gonna keep you overnight. Sweet. Go home the next day. So I stayed. I first night I slept on they brought in a little couch and I tried to sleep and finally Wednesday the next day came Wednesday and they decided you can go home. Like, sweet. Of course she didn't. She can't do nothing. Of course, I wouldn't expect her to do nothing. But see, this is where my life changes. We get home, get her settled in a chair. We have one of those lift chairs that I had when I had my surgery and stuff, and so we put her in that, got her, blanket, tried to make it as comfortable as we could. She said, and she laid there, got to go to the bathroom. That's about it. And that's all she can do. She can't lift 10 pounds. She has to do that. And so from there on forward, we had to, I had to take her around. And I tell you what, guys, appreciate your loved ones that you're with, your partners in life, because you don't know how much they do until they don't do it. Wednesday sitting around, I started getting hungry. I said, what will we eat for dinner? She looked at me like, what do you mean? I said, crap, I got to figure this out myself. But, first couple nights were easy. I won't say they were easy because our church, they brought over supper for a couple nights. So we did good until Friday. But I just go, guys, we have one car right now. My other car I gotta do something about, but we'll get there. I've got issues going on with myself. I can't drive. My reflexes, I can't turn, so I can't really drive. So I go, well, we do a Walmart online order, have it delivered to the house. And we always, okay, that works. And then, guys, I can barbecue up a storm. I can do all that. I love barbecuing. I can cook on a grill. Now, stove, homemade stuff, not my forte. My wife does a good job, and so I let her have that job. All these years, 24 years of marriage, I let her have the cooking in the house and doing homemade meals. I do the barbecuing on the grill. Well, there we go. But the grill's broke. I have to get a new grill, and I just haven't done it yet. I've used the grill so bad that the bottom burnt out of it, and just unfit to use. So that's another thing I want to buy. but I didn't buy it yet. I go, well, crap. I know how to run the air fryer. And those box dinners you can put in the oven has directions. I can do that. I can't just sit there and whip up a gourmet meal like my wife can. Um, so I just go, well, you know what? We can buy them box dinners. We can put it in the oven. I can get some fish strips. I can put it in the air fryer. We'll make it just fine. So I went ordering, and I'm not, to my surprise, I didn't. They weren't that. I mean, groceries are expensive, but I was expecting to pay a lot for these box dinners and stuff. Not so bad, in my opinion. Um, Something easy for me just to put in the oven at night and cook and get it out and serve it to my wife, and we'd be we'll be nourished. Well, made that tackle. I tackled that problem. Ordered the food, got it in, put it up, and we're good. We have food for a while. Don't have to worry about that. But you know, that's not all what my wife did. No, still didn't think about cleaning the house, dishes, because we don't have dishwasher. Dishwashers are hands, and dishes pile up. Laundry, it just everything that my wife took care of that I guess I took for granted. So don't take your partners for granted when they're doing that stuff. Thank them and be appreciative, because when something like this happens, when it's all put on you, you're really thankful for what they done. So I went and did all that. I went and so I did laundry on Sunday. I did 8 loads of laundry, man, and folded. That sucked. I'm like, man, I don't know how you did this. Working, she even worked. She works 80 hours a week, still does it. I just took it for granted. Hmm. Cooking, hectic. And I will say, my daughter, she's stepped up and helped me out doing some stuff. Don't. Now I say I did 8 loads or 7 loads of laundry, whatever. She helped. I just kept the machines fed and took them out, put them in a basket, and me and her sat in the living room, watched a movie as we folded, and I just kept going back and forth. Made a big rotation all the way around. My daughter does helped with the cooking. She put the stuff in the oven and pulled it out, as I was doing dishes or cleaning the bathroom, picking up the house, um, taking the animals out to go to the restroom, whatever. What me and my daughter have been doing that. And of course, my mother-in-law lives with us, and she requires some care, so we have to, step in and help her with stuff, and which is totally fine. Um, Totally fine. But I tell you, I streamed Sunday night. First, I mean, I haven't really been on YouTube all week because of all this, and I'm finding myself right now is making this podcast a situation. My situation don't get better. By Saturday I was like, man, we got this whooped. We got this routine down. We know what we're doing. We're going to get through this just fine, right? Well, Sunday night I was streaming. We got done with clicking and breaking on my YouTube channel. On my Lego side of things, I and me and my friends watched House of the Dragons. I mean, that's been our thing, and so after I got done streaming, went and started watching that with the boys. Then something else happened. I had to mute. My daughter came in with a picture and showed that my wife's incision has came apart. Now, what I find is funny is, well, not funny, but it's like she hasn't done nothing. She hasn't stretched. We made her stay in that chair unless she had to go to the bathroom. She got up, doing what the doctor said. Walk around. She walked and walk around, and she go to the bathroom and come back to her chair. So walk around the house, go to the bathroom, then come to her chair and sit back down. And for some reason, her incision starts spreading. So and like I say, guys, I don't drive. Okay, don't drive. I can't. I so bad want to, and I feel horrible for telling you all this because I feel like a bad husband. I really do. I had to call an ambulance and took her to the hospital last night. I was going to go with the ambulance, and they said I could not go. I could not ride with them because of insurance reasons. And this is like, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock last night. So I'm like, okay, I told Melanie, I said, I'll try to find a way to get up there. Good. So they took her. I tried calling my uncle, and he was in bed. He was in bed at 7 o'clock. I knew I was going to get him up. And this late at night, I just couldn't get hold of nobody. So wife called me when she got to the hospital, and then they admitted her. So I was like, okay, I know I can't get there tonight, but she's at the right place. If something happens, she's there where the help is, not home and all that stuff. She's at the right place. If something would happen, they can take care of her. And I can try to find a ride the next morning. Well, that morning, I call the wife, and this is today is making this podcast. She waiting on the doctor because he got admitted, and we don't know what's going to happen. I called my uncle, and he's at his doctor's appointment. Matter of fact, he had a doctor appointment that he canceled to take me and my wife up there for surgery last week. He had rescheduled today, and he had to be there today. So he's not with us today. He can't help us out, and so I called the wife, and we decided that let's just wait to see what the doctor says and what's going to happen. Because tomorrow I've got a doctor's appointment. I got a ride coming to take me up to that same town. But we're going to see what the doctor says today. He's got to do. He's going to do what he's got to do to fix her. And if she's going to stay one more night, I'll just go to my doctor's appointment tomorrow morning, and then we'll go to the hospital afterwards and then go from there. But as of today, right now, we're waiting on the doctor phone call. That's the plan. That's the best plan I can come up with, because I called for if we have any Ubers around here. They don't do that around here. I possibly called a taxi from Poplar Bluff, but money situation, that was going to be expensive from the town that she's in. Come to my town and get me and take her back up there. So that is my situation with my wife right now. I will continue keep you all updated, but it's life experiences, and this is an experience I wanted to share with y'all. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave this one with you today. Hope you enjoy it. Remember, be somebody's light and somebody's darkest cloud. A hello from you could make a person a lot better. Trust me. Be kind to one another. Be good to one another. Treat others how you want to be treated. Be somebody's light and somebody's darkest cloud. Hello from you can make today a whole lot better. Guys, until the next one. Ta-ta.